Ayurveda describes Stree as Stree hi mula apatyanam, Stree hi rakshati rakshita. That is, women are the pillars of family, and they, with their splendid physical and mental performance, have created an outstanding special place in the society, and therefore there is need to protect a woman's health and improve their lifestyle. A woman's body undergoes various physical and physiological changes, that is from menarche, which is the onset of menstruation, to menopause, that is cessation of it. So awareness and management of these changes are necessary for a woman to remain healthy. Also, due to intake of faulty diet and unhealthy life habits, which is PCOS. PCOS, a metabolic malady, the mother of all lifestyle disorders, is an endocrine and metabolic disorder occurring to women of reproductive age groups. It is so. The first one is oligo-ovulation or anovulation. Oligo-ovulation means the ovulation is not proper or it is not regular. Anovulation means absence of ovulation. So these two we can see in terms of cycle irregularity. The patient will come and tell you that I have delayed cycles, or my cycle is not regular, or it is not monthly. Second is hyperandrogenism. Hyperandrogenism both clinically and biochemically. Clinically, we can see through test. We can see in patient come with complaint of having excessive facial hair in the chin, in the upper lip, in a male pattern, large polycystic ovaries. So the present status shows that polycystic ovarian syndrome affects an estimated of 8 to 13% of reproductive aged women and in on rise due to changes in lifestyle. Up to 70% of affected women remain undiagnosed, and PCOS is one of the commonest cause of anovulation and a leading cause of infertility. 50% of women with PCOS may develop type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes before the age of 40. Now moving on to the Ayurvedic perspective. So since PCOS is known as polycystic ovarian syndrome, so we cannot take correlated to a particular disease, but it can be correlated with Arajita Yoni Vyapat or Bandhya Yoni Vyapat or Nashtatak or Pushpagni Jataharini. Most, I feel that it has a very close resemblance with Pushpagni Jataharini because it says what? Mrtha Pushpa Tuya Nari Yatha Mukha Prapadita Sthula Lomasha Ganda Pushpagni Sapi Devati. Okay, then Sthula Lomasha Ganda is there. Mrtha Pushpa is there, means anovulation, oligovulation there. Sthula Lomasha. She is having what? Post pattern, male pattern hair in her ganda area. So, see, the exact cause of PCOS is not mentioned, but we can correlate into three factors. First is Manaso Abhitapa. All the stress, depression, or the mental factors come under this category. Ahara dosha, due to intake of faulty diet, like oily food, fatty food, all the street foods. And Vihara dosha, having sedentary lifestyle or lack of exercise. So the Samprapti says that doshas involved are Tridosha with predominance of Vata and Kapha. Doshas are Rasarakta, Meda and Artava. Agni here is Manda Agni. Shrotas involved are Rasavaha, Raktavaha, Meda and Artavaha Shrotas. Shrota Dushti is Sanga, Sira Granthi, and Adhisthana is Artava, Shrotas and Sarva Sarira. So moving on to the topic, how can we prevent PCOS? Through daily Ayurveda. Our theme is Ayurveda for every day on everyone. So we see, I have collected the herbs or the herbal remedies which are already present in our kitchen. We are using it on a daily basis, but we need to know that how can this prevent PCOS. Before that, let us go to the strategies we need to follow. First is imparting knowledge. That is learning the ancient and new related benefits. We need herbal remedies. First is aloe vera. We can see it everywhere. If we just roam around, we can see aloe vera present here. Aloe vera is a very effective drug. It contains phytosterols and phytophenols, which has protective effect against PCOS by restoring the ovarian steroid activity. So how we can take? We can take it in form of aloe vera juice or pulp of aloe vera. So according to Maharjan et al., a study has been taken with PCOS rats. So they gave aloe vera gel 1 gram along with letrozole, and they saw that there is reduction in the production of follicles in those rats. Second is cinnamon or dalchini, famously known as dalchini. It has an anti-inflammatory and anti-diabetic property. It helps in reduction of, improves the insulin sensitivity in PCOS women. We can take it as mixing in milkshakes or yogurts, or just you can sprinkle with your chai, you can take it with tea. The next is basil, or we call it tulsi. It is available everywhere. We used to worship this plant, but it also has a very scientific importance. It is loaded with anti-androgenic activity with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It controls the androgen levels, leading to excessive facial hair growth. So you can at least chew daily 10 tulsi leaves in the morning in empty stomach, or you can consume boiled tulsi water. Then turmeric haldi. It helps to boost immunity. It helps in controlling the irregular periods, acne, weight gain. Turmeric powder can be taken with milk. We call it that golden milk. Or you can add it with your soup or sprinkle over vegetables. Next, a very potent herb is methi or fenugreek. Normalize this insulin level, which also helps in weight loss. So soak methi seeds overnight and have it on empty stomach in the morning. Or you can consume cooked methi leaves. The next herb is shatavari. It is found in reducing PCOS and improving follicular growth and development and ovulation. Shatavari powder can be taken with juices, shakes and plain milk also. Ginger is a very potent plant. It is present in every household. It contains gingerol, gingerine, which lowers inflammation and relieves period pain. It is effective in antiviral, antibacterial and antioxidant spice to keep the immune system strong while having PCOS. We can consume it as ginger tea or decoction. So this is the ahara part. Moving on to the vihara, the importance of yoga and exercise in PCOS. So various yogasanas are described in our ancient text, which can be done on daily basis and is beneficial for women suffering from PCOS, starting with meditation. It may help to stabilize the mind and act as a mood elevator and facilitate calming process. Next is Baddha Konasana, or popularly known as the butterfly pose. It helps to move up the pelvic area and promote relaxation. It builds stress and relieves menstrual discomfort. Next is Surya Namaskar. I strongly recommend everyone to do it every day. There are 12 poses and each pose has a specific importance. Surya Namaskar is good to enhance flexibility in the body as well as effective in controlling hormonal imbalance. It helps to detoxify and de-stress the entire system. Very next is Bhujangasana, or the Cobra pose. Cobra pose exerts pressure on the stomach and helps to stimulate the ovarian function. So these are very easy asanas which we can do on a regular basis. And next is Paschimottanasana. This calming pose stretches the hamstrings, backs and hips. Okay, so in a nutshell, in order to control PCOS, we need to follow these tips. That is, drink adequate quantity of water, take fresh fruits and vegetables, avoid junk, fast foods, processed foods, avoid milk and milk products, do exercise on a regular basis, yogas or brisk walk in order to maintain your weight, avoid faulty modern life, instead focus on soothing music, nature, scenic beauty, because stress is also a very important factor for PCOS. So these things can help you relieve your stress. So in my conclusion, I'll say that PCOS is a lifestyle illness and its increased prevalence has raised serious health concern because it is linked to an earlier onset of infertility and metabolic syndrome, which includes insulin resistance, diabetes, dyslipidemia. Ayurveda offers a holistic approach to manage PCOS by balancing hormones and restoring health through diet, lifestyle changes, herbal medicines and purificatory measures. So with this quote, Nari Samajishya Kusala Vastu Karaha, a woman is the skilled architect of society.